Happy Monday. It is a Workforce Monday here at Good Morning Vail. We have our man, Bill Lumbert, telling us all things work, how to get a job and how to maintain that job, as well as mountain perspective. So we're talking all things work. Get that coffee. Keep right here because Good Morning Vail starts right now. Lions Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lions Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you on 92"? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on mountain perspectives and our new Spanish programming block coming this fall. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website at tv8vail.com.
Thank you for watching Good Morning Vail. Have an amazing day. Get on out there, soak up that sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow right here for more Good Morning Vail. Bye, everyone. Hi, I'm Gretchen Bleshaw. You might recognize me from the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen. Maybe you hear my voice on the radio from time to time or see me out at a concert or two. I love concerts. If you see me out, the long mermaid hair, I'm almost 6 foot tall. It's hard to miss. Come and say hi, give me a high five, and make sure to watch me right here on TV8.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. We have Chris Romer with Mountain Perspectives for this amazing Workforce Monday. Let's check it out.
Welcome to Mountain Perspectives, a program where we dive deeply into a variety of topics with esteemed panelists. I'm Chris Romer, your moderator for today's episode. A little bit about me. I am the president and CEO of Vail Valley Partnership, the regional chamber of commerce and economic development organization here in Eagle County. I also serve as an elected trustee for Colorado Mountain College and involved in a number of different initiatives and boards throughout the community. So less about me and more about our esteemed panel. Today's topic is workforce in Eagle County. My fellow panelists are Anna Robinson, Mark Brennan, and Carolyn Tucker. Let's dive right in, shall we, guys? I would like you guys to do individual introductions and introduce yourselves to the audience with who you are and what organization you're with and some of the work you do that will expand as we go through the show today. Anna, we'll start with you.
I'm Anna Robinson. I work for the Vail Valley Partnership with Chris. I am the program manager for the partnership, and I also run our 501c3 arm called Vail Valley Works, which is a nonprofit dedicated to workforce development. We do professional development, skills training, youth apprenticeships, DEI, and mental wellness initiatives.
All the important things.
All the.
Now, there's lots of other important things too, but those are some of the important things. That's all the important things that Vail Valley Works and the partnership do. Thank you, Anna. Mark, how about you?
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Brennan and I'm College Vice President and Campus Dean at Colorado Mountain College, Vail Valley at Edwards campus. Bit of a mouthful. What is my role at that campus? Well, my role is really what we're talking about here today, is to kind of work with the community, understand what their needs are, and to try and work towards creating those educational opportunities for our students.
Yeah, and Mark, where's that accent from?
It's from Colorado, Chris.
Colorado accent?
I come from
I wish I had that Colorado accent, Mark.
No, I come from a land down under. So I bring all my Australian experience to a very unique place in Colorado.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
And Carolyn, how about you?
Hello, everybody. I'm Carolyn Tucker. I'm with the Workforce Center, and we're based over here in Edwards, and we also have an office in Leadville. And our role is to really help every Coloradan either find a job, get a promotion, or develop skills so that they can be successful in their work life. We do things like resume building, interview skills, all kinds of free training, and work really closely with all the partners here to really lift up the workforce in the Vail Valley.
Yeah, and throughout the entire state and the mountain region
Well,
for you
true.
specifically. So let's take a step back and let's work to define workforce. What is workforce and what is workforce development? These are terms that we see in the paper and maybe we're watching this, but what does it really mean? And Carolyn, maybe we'll start with you. What is workforce development? What does workforce mean to you? We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, you and I had a conversation a little while ago, and anytime you kind of have this big nebulous label, workforce, it doesn't mean much. But workforce is actually made up of every single individual. So the person that you see at the come and go, the person that you see at the pizza parlor, my colleagues, my brother, my husband, we're all in the workforce. We all have individual needs. And so when we talk about workforce development, in my opinion, what it means is developing those individuals, developing those skills, creating pathways so that people can realize their dreams or they can realize their goals And there's tons of resources around the Valley to do that. But it really brings it down to people. And our people make up the workforce. And we can't lose sight of those individuals.
Yeah, I think it's such an important point. We'll dive into a number of the resources over the course of this show, but the idea that it's not this nebulous thing, that it's about helping people. And successful people make a successful community, make successful businesses, and this ebb and flow, it's not a linear pathway. It's based and centered around our people and around our community members. So I love that answer. Mark, I'm going to ask you to follow up on that one. What does workforce development mean to you, and why is it important?
You know, Chris, today I'll probably keep using the word opportunity a lot. You know, one of the kind of missions of the college is to kind of contribute, I guess, to the elevation of our communities. And so, you know, what workforce development for me is creating educational opportunities for our students and actually kind of connecting those with the needs of our community. You know, putting our students in jobs that will allow them to continue to live in the community, you know, an affordable, you know, a decent wage so that they can stay here and thrive and continue to raise families. That's the mission of our campus, and that's the mission of our college.
Yeah, and let's explore a little bit more about that, and I think we'll have some time later on to dive into some of the exact details, but I think it's so important for the role that Colorado Mountain College plays. Can you give an example or two of some of the programs to make your previous comment real?
Sure, you know, and I'm going to start early. Where we start early is in our high schools with our dual enrollment programs. You know, Colorado Mountain College is a bit of a nebulous beast. Like, we have certificate programs, associate degrees, and bachelor degrees. But in our high schools, we actually have a few technical certificates that students can do. So for those students who may not be interested in attending college, they can enter into our automotive program and graduate from high school with a number of certificates that actually help them get a good paying job. Or they could do our nurse aid program. It's a 1-semester course. They graduate from high school and they go straight into the healthcare profession. So there are a couple of examples of where we're working with the schools to create different pathways for students, which still create pathways into the workforce.
Yeah, and I think that I'm glad you mentioned those, because I think that education to employment pipeline, when we talk about workforce and people think about workforce, they're not necessarily thinking about students in high school.
Yep.
They're not necessarily thinking about how we grow our own. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily thinking about that. They're thinking of maybe mid-career professionals or how we upskill people, which is important and we'll talk about. But I'm glad you touched on the employment, education to employment pipeline, because I think it's a really important component and why workforce is so essential to everything that we do. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Mark. Anna, last and certainly not least, for you, what does workforce mean to you, and why is it important?
To me, it's looking at your people, like Carolyn said, and looking at them as a natural resource. And workforce development, in my view, is how do we create the best possible environment for those people to thrive. So what resources are we bringing in? How are we communicating that? You know, how are we raising awareness of all the opportunities in the community? You know, and those are your people that are here. It's your future workforce, but it's also how do you Sherpa in the outside talent when it is needed, because we'd all love to grow it here all the time, but it's not always possible. But we need to make sure that those people are also able to thrive.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit, because we've got three people from three very different organizations, right? A nonprofit organization working with the business community, a college, higher education. How fortunate are we to have a great Chamber of Commerce? Shameless plug.
Shameless.
And a great college system here. Historically community college, now 4-year degrees and everything else. And a state agency that's designed and created solely to help people with the employment opportunities and the skilling and everything. So let's talk about collaboration. How do you each, and we'll start with Anna since we ended with you last time. How do you embrace collaboration? Why is collaboration important when it comes to these people initiatives, these workforce initiatives?
It's necessary. I mean, we can't do what we do without each other. There's no one organization that provides all of it. And so I think that it's incredibly important for us to lean on each other, to not be redundant. I don't need to offer the trainings that Colorado Mountain College offers. So I think that the collaboration is incredibly important because it allows each organization to see the need and fill the need. And when we can work together to do that, it really makes the most of our resources.
And in Eagle County, I think that's perfect. And in Eagle County, I think we're so unique because we are and have been relentlessly collaborative, more so than most neighboring communities and more so than most of my colleagues around the country. I get calls all the time. How do you guys do this? It's because we collaborate and because we work together. And I don't know that it's a secret sauce so much, but everyone almost universally is like, wow, like it's not that crazy. It's hard.
Yeah,
but
it's not crazy. It's hard.
It's not
I
crazy.
like that.
Mark, how about you? What's around the idea of working together in collaboration, and how does CMC play a role in that?
I mean, I don't think we could actually do anything that we do without the partnerships that we have. I mentioned before about dual enrollment. It's a partnership with the school district that allows us to actually have one of the very largest programs in the state. We're servicing 700 to 800 students per semester in those programs. But partnerships are really important for the kind of experiences that we need our students to have. On our campus, we do a lot of health science programming. We have really strong partnerships with organisations like Vail House, so our students can get those clinical experiences that they need. I mean, without those, we couldn't offer EMT, paramedic, phlebotomy, and so forth. Again, with the school district, we have a very tight partnership around our education program as well. It's a win-win situation for everybody. It's like, come to us and tell us what you need, and then help us bring it to life.
Yeah, that's great. And you've done that in any number of ways.
Yes.
Over the years and in your tenure as well. So thanks to you and the team at CMC for that continued focus on the partnerships and the industry partnerships and helping provide that pathway through all those important, many first responder roles in this community. Carolyn, for you, how does a state agency like the Workforce Center, how do you think about collaboration? Why are these community partnerships important?
Well, I always love to say this, that the Workforce Center is probably the best kept secret in the community because we don't have a marketing budget, and all the funds that we get go right to direct services to prospective employees, employee development, job seeker services. So we're a really kind of under the radar type of organization. So partnerships with CMC and VVP and any other community group really elevates our visibility, and then we can talk and tell our story about the services that we offer. Kind of like what Mark was talking about, some people, and we see a lot of people across the spectrum of, hey, I'm getting my very first job, I don't know what to do, I don't have a resume, so how can you help me build it? To, hey, I just got laid off and I am clueless and I'm still in shock, what do I do? We, kind of parse through all that stuff and say, well, here's your opportunities, here's your thoughts. Try CMC for some things, try some leadership skills and programs with VVP. And so we can't do it all. And so we definitely focus on partnerships and collaborations because we can do more together and we can offer more resources together. We're the conduit for the state from a grant funding perspective and from some other monies that directly impact job seekers. And so we want to share the love of that to our partnerships. And we need bodies, we need people, everyone else has people, and we can come together with those resources.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you all for exploring that idea of collaboration and what it means for workforce in Eagle County. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back before you know it.
Good morning, Vail.
Purchase an Access card and save 20% at participating retailers between now and September 30th. Each card purchased provides one full day of a professional adaptive assistance for a person in need. Your $55 donation allows Access Unbound to continue doing incredible work in our community. Shop local, support local, and make an incredible impact. Buy yours at au-accesscard.org.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Hi there, I just wanted to take a moment and introduce myself. My name is Avisha Scarborough, and I'm the host of Vail Vibes, a show about all the amazing stuff going on here in Vail and surrounding areas I'm going to tell you all about so you don't miss a thing. And I just want to say that I love being part of this community, and it's an amazing place to be.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
At Revival Boutique Med Spa, we take an integrative and holistic approach to skincare, focusing on the bigger picture when treating our clients. We use only result-driven and science-based products that contain clean, organic, wild-crafted, and research-based ingredients. From injectables, facials, to body contouring, we offer anything related to looking your best self. Find us in the Riverwalk in Edwards. For a complete list of services, visit us online at revivalvail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Revival Vail Valley. Fall in love with your skin again. There's lots to love at Revival. Mind, body, beauty.
Good morning, Vail.
We had a great conversation with our esteemed panelists for Mountain Perspective. Let's check this out.
Welcome back to Mountain Perspectives. I'm Chris Romer, President and CEO of Vail Valley Partnership. I'm joined by Anna Robinson with the Vail Valley Partnership and Vail Valley Works, Mark Brennan with Colorado Mountain College, and Carolyn Tucker with the Colorado Workforce Center. And we're talking about workforce in Eagle County and workforce development and workforce programming. In the first session, we talked a lot about people and collaboration, how workforce is really about helping our people, which helps our businesses, which helps our community, and how working together makes all of that happen. Let's take a step back and talk about kind of the trends that we're seeing and the things that are affecting and impacting workforce in Eagle County. And Carolyn, we'll start with you. What's the data tell us? What do you have to share around trends?
So the data, and I'll talk specifically about demographic data and ages and people because that's directly impacting the workforce. So as everyone knows, baby boomers were one of the largest demographic groups, and they are all kind of getting close, if not already stepping outside the workforce. They are retiring, they're choosing to do something else, they're stepping away. That leaves a huge void. And the Gen Z and the Gen X and the Gen Y and the millennials, there's not enough people coming through. So what we've seen over the last few years, even before COVID, was an unemployment rate below 3% for Eagle County, and it's going to continue to be very low unemployment. So it's hate to say this for the business community, it's still going to be difficult to find skilled people, which is why these partnerships are so critical as we grow that workforce. So those trends are impacting the workforce. Again, less bodies. We're seeing a trend toward still a tension between remote work and office work, and that tension is going to continue. We're seeing a shift in how businesses work with employees, and that means kind of checking in on work-life balance, on benefit packages, on livable wages, or at least maybe a competitive wage. And then we're actually talking about place. Where do people want to work? Can they work remote? Which makes Eagle County really attractive for those remote workers, but as everyone understands, there's consequences to that. So those types of trends are going to continue. Technology, because we have to do more with less, and the pace of change is so fast, we're going to need more training, more skilling, more consistent types of programs like that, and implementation of that technology in the business community.
There's so much to unpack there. I look forward to the future Mountain Perspective show on ChatGPT and on the impacts of AI. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. And I think the biggest theme, and I talk about this a lot, is it's really a math problem. We have a math problem. We have more people retiring than we have coming into the workforce. We have approximately 3,500 open positions. With a very low unemployment. So there's about a 10 to 1 unemployed person for every 10 or so jobs that exist. And so that math, you don't have to be great at math to know that is messed up, right? Like right. It creates a lot of challenges for business sustainability and business growth and things. So there's a lot to unpack there, and I appreciate you sharing those trends and focusing it on the people, because it's a big issue.
And one other thing too is we all talked about gig work, but even before, and gig work being part-time or project by project type of work, that is going to continue, if not grow. So a lot of people work 2-3 jobs living in a resort community. I did when I lived in a resort community, and so can businesses look at part-time? Can they work at shift work? Can they compress the workday so people are looking for maybe a 3 or 4 hour, 3 days a week? Take advantage of some of those people that are retired and say, you know what, I retired too soon. The wife needs to get me out of the house. I need to go work at Home Depot for 2 shifts. Those are some of those opportunities that come out of something like this.
Yeah, I think we could talk about this all day, and we have other things to talk about too. But it is really important, and it is kind of essential to the idea of workforce in Eagle County, and the topic today. So thank you for those trends, and we might start to unpack some of that through the rest of this discussion as well. Anna, how about you? From a business perspective and business engagement, what are some of the trends that you're seeing?
Well, I think Carolyn touched on a big one of businesses just being more open to different types of workers, whether that is the partial retiree or, looking at 2 part-time positions instead of a full-time, or looking at high schoolers as a viable employee source. So I'm glad that you touched on that one. I think from a professional development and skills training perspective, the businesses are really starting to buy in. I think my engagement is up. I'm seeing a lot of different businesses that have not engaged in the past are sending people through our training programs. And I think part of that is, we're having to get creative. We're having to promote people that maybe you wouldn't have 5 years ago, or put people in positions where maybe that stretches them a little bit into a different skill set. And so that's really where we want to come in as Vail Valley Works, is to be that safety net and say, hey, you got this. You may not be entirely comfortable with it, or you may have thought it would have taken you a couple more years to get where you are, but we're here to help you along, and the businesses are buying into that. And I think in different ways as well. I think the larger businesses are using our programming because then they don't have to provide it themselves. They're allowed to do other things with their employees that they have. And I think that the smaller businesses are able to offer something that they couldn't before. So I think the buy-in is increasing, and it's for different reasons across the board, but whatever the reason, that's why we're here. And I think they're also understanding the collaboration piece, that when we do send people through leadership training or whatever the case may be, it creates that common language, and that just makes it easier for us to collaborate.
Yeah. Anna, talk about some of the specific trainings and programs that you do at Vail Valley Works.
We do some skills trainings like project management. We have a nonprofit fundraising certification. There's a lot of other skills trainings I'd love to take a foray into in the future. But we're really built on our leadership trainings as kind of our core, and that's the service that we want to provide to all the businesses in the community. And we rolled out a certification this year called the Lead Eagle certification, which is leadership, education, and development. And it's a 4-course series that really establishes that common language that we were talking about. So the first course is called Management Essentials, and we really go into the basics. How do you have a difficult conversation? Why should you document this? How do you see trouble spots with your employees? How do you build a culture? And then we move into taking the lead, which dives more into your team dynamics. How does your team motivated? How do you lead a team of different personalities? And then we have our Community Leadership Academy, which dives into your personal values, what makes you unique as a leader and what's important to you. And then we end with our Board Service Basics course, which is really serving your community through civic engagement. Whether you maybe are interested in board service or you're doing it, but you don't really know what you're doing, but really, teaching people how to go out and give back to their community.
Great. Thank you for expanding a little bit on each of those, because I think that's really important to the engagement question and to the workforce. I'll share a quick story. I was talking to a business owner who was lamenting a little bit that they'd had a managerial position open for over a year, and they just couldn't, they had applications and they just couldn't find the right person. And this person said to me, I've got this person on my team that would be perfect for this job in 2 years. And I said, you should hire that person today and develop them and provide them the skills training that exists through different channels that you talked about, or CMC or the Workforce Center or other things that exist. And they called me about 6 weeks later and they said, we hired that person for the job, and we know that they're not there yet, but we're going to give them every path, because it's hard for a business to sit in an open position for a year. When you have someone that you think could do it, you need to hire that person, especially in a community like ours with the challenges that Carolyn talked about. So that's one example, but I think it's pretty common across businesses of anywhere from 6 to 60 employees, that type of situation happens. So pardon the introduction, or the interruption rather, with my commentary. Mark, how about you? What trends are you seeing, and share some of the new programming at CMC?
Sure. I mean, well, first of all, I just want to say, to Carolyn's points, yes. On our campus, we've had 5 retirements in the last 12 months, and I've had at least one position that's been open for over 3 years. So not unusual for us as an employer to see exactly the same things that everybody else in the community is seeing. But some of the trends, I mean, Chris, I think in my role, what I do is I let the experts like Carolyn and some of our community partners come to us and say, this is our need. And then we go off and kind of do a little bit of research ourselves to kind of just work out things like what's the job turnover, where's the growth, and so forth. And so a couple of programs that I'd like to highlight, I think one that we introduced last fall was our new bachelor's degree in human services. I think it's pretty obvious to say that behavioural health is a major, major issue. And as the county tries to respond, there's a huge workforce need in human services. So that's one program that we have developed. I'm really thrilled to say that it is enormously popular, probably one of our most popular bachelor degrees in in just over a year. At the campus level, quite exciting. I don't know if people have noticed there's a bit of construction going on, but there's even more coming. We are looking to launch a dental hygiene program in the summer of next year. Anybody who goes to the dentist in this community would also know there is a need for that. And then also in the fall of next year, in response to hospitals across all of the districts that CMC serves, we are launching a radiology technician program. So these are all examples of, again, like people coming to us saying, would you be interested in, and we go off and explore. And just make sure that this is the right program for the community and also for our students. Going back to what I said earlier, we want our students to come out of these degrees with minimal debt, which usually they will do because of our good tuition, but also go into high-paying jobs and really contribute to the community and continue to contribute to the growth of our community as well.
Yeah, it's the dental hygiene is a really exciting opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You talked earlier in the segment, or in the first segment, around the teacher and the education pipeline, where those kids graduate from CMC and essentially have I believe it's 100% placement with the Eagle County School District.
Yes.
So you're filling needs.
Yep.
And responding to the community need and providing opportunities for the kids that have grown up here to be able to stay here in professional positions. And you're also helping on the housing standpoint. This is not a housing show. It's really a whole different mountain perspective show. But you guys have some housing going in too.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, part of it, you build student housing on our campus. And who are our students? Well, they're the workforce. But the other thing about housing, what's super exciting about it as well, is we're hoping to attract people to come and do our programs and stay in the Valley and actually contribute to the workforce. So we are very close to finishing one building of 36 apartments, which will be open hopefully mid-August, and then a second one, which is in partnership, again, collaboration with Eagle County, which should be opening its doors around October, November. Yeah.
Remarkable. Thanks for that little tangent there, but it is related to workforce.
Totally.
In Eagle County, and it is happening at CMC, so I think it's a good.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tva.com y nuestra página de Facebook TVA Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Well, Archer and I are going to get headed on further down the trail, but I hope you'll catch up with us a little bit later. Hi, I'm Ben Roof, and I'm one of the new hosts here at TV8. I'm so excited to share all of my explorations throughout the Vail Valley with my dog Archer, where we'll be taking you to hiking trails, biking trails, maybe we'll go rafting, fishing, or whatever else we can come up with. I'm so excited to share all of that with you in my new segment, Outdoor Adventures. Don't forget to catch up with us every day right here at TV8 Vail or at tv8vail.com, because there's always more for you on 92.
Experience the beauty of fall on the rails of the Leadville Railroad. Take in the cool mountain breeze as you climb to 11,000 feet to watch the vibrant reds, oranges, and golds of fall come alive. Enjoy delicious hot beverages, learn some history, and relax with family and friends. Even your pets can enjoy a ride on the train. Offering daily trips, the weekend specials sell out fast. To secure your seat, book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. We'll see more from Mountain Perspectives in the 8 o'clock hour, but right now we have our Bill Humber, who gives us so much information, tips and tricks on how to get and keep a career. Let's check him out.
Bit of a dismotivating factor. So how would you recommend that we kind of just take those first steps in approaching that loneliness and kind of overcoming those emotions as we're working our way to a new career?
So, Ben, I was in South Africa last month, and I came across this elephant that was all by himself. And, he's standing there behind the tree thinking he's going to hide from us, but it really didn't work very well. So what happens is when the leader male gets old, one of the younger males kicks him out, and they're kicked out of the herd, and they're totally lonely. And so unlike that male elephant that was in that photo, you don't have to be as alone as you think you are. You're only as alone as you choose during your career search.
So I guess that's where some people like yourself, a recruiter, can come in. If I was looking for a job, would that be someone I would want to reach out to? Is go and approach a recruiter or contact you at recruiterguy.com to kind of look for a little bit of that help and some assistance in our job search?
Well, for most recruiters, the professional recruiters get paid by filling positions. And if you don't have the right experience, they're probably not going to spend any time helping you, because that's not how they get paid. They get paid strictly on commission. But the way a candidate who's looking for a job can overcome those lonely feelings is to go the other way and create positive feelings about their background. So when you lose a job or you choose to leave a job that you love the company and you hate the manager, you feel alone and you feel like nobody else in the world is experiencing this. In fact is, lots of people are. And so the best way to transition is, in my book, Expect Success, The Science of the Over 50 Career Search, right at the beginning of my book, I coach people to reinforce their self-confidence and build that back up, because you need that for your interviews. And so get 2 pieces of legal sheets of paper, and at the top write professional, at the second one write personal, and then list everything that you do well, all your skills, your attributes, and even experiences that you're really proud of. And sometimes they will cross over between personal and professional, and that's fine. And you need to fill every single line with something. And then what you do is you add asterisk next to the skills and attributes that you have and that you use, that you enjoy using. Because why go looking for a job if you don't want to do it? So let's focus on the things that you do well, that you enjoy doing. And then you go through those and build stories that demonstrate you have those skills or those attributes or that experience. And when you do that before you even go to the interview, now you've built all of that confidence back up and you're ready to rock and roll.
Well, it sounds like that's a great way to prepare both for success in the interviewing process and an awesome exercise to help us both polish up our resumes and our cover letters and just create that foundation of self-confidence that'll help us present ourselves well. Is there...
Absolutely.
How would you recommend starting? If it was just something that we're looking at that blank sheet of paper and we're just having a hard time coming up with some concrete things, how would you recommend we start?
Well, one thing you could do is look at a job description of a job that you're interested in and see what skills and experience they're looking for, and do some research on the company and learn a little bit about their culture and what attributes that they may be interested in a candidate. All companies are looking for people who are honest, loyal, smart, can do the job. And so go through those, and then that helps you get started on your list.
And so if we've got our list finished, we're looking at our completed list, and then we're looking up at our blank screen on the computer, how are we taking that list and then turning it into an interview?
Well, the best way to get interviews is to network. The bad news is human resources in their applicant tracking system, if your keywords do not match a poorly written job description perfectly, and I'm saying, let's say slippery is one of the words in the job description. If it's not there the 5 times that they have it in the job description, and it's not there 5 times in your resume, you will be screened out, or at least get a lower score, and the lower score will screen you out. So it's important to network your way to a new position, to an interview, and by doing that, you avoid all of the human resource screening out.
Well, and when you say screening out, you're referring to before a human being even takes a look at your resume, right? Just getting kind of pushed to the side by the computer system?
Exactly.
So,
and if you listen to the advertising of the job boards, one of them in particular advertises both to candidates and to companies. And if you listen to their one where they advertisement for companies, they tell you, we send you the best qualified candidates. What's that mean? They're screening out the candidates that aren't the best qualified, and best qualified is based only on a keyword match.
Which that was something that I was taught by our counselors and stuff when I was in college, was a trick they gave us, and I don't know if this is even a real good trick. It always kind of seemed silly to me, was to take all of the keywords from the job description and just put them in a header or a footer on our resume and our cover letter in white. So that way they don't show up to anybody looking at our resume, and even if they highlight it, if they don't select headers and footers, it still doesn't show up, but they do get picked up by the keyword searches and the algorithms. Is there any other ways that you would recommend to perhaps better get around that algorithm in the event that, say, we're looking for a job with a company that's not nearby and might make networking a little bit difficult? Say if I wanted to move from Utah out to Chicago, for example.
You know, I get this question a lot. And have you ever heard of 6 degrees of separation?
I certainly have.
That's how networking works. Hey, who do you know that's in Iowa? Oh, yeah, I have a friend that went to the University of Iowa. Can you introduce me to them because I'm interested in a job in Chicago, but they live in Iowa? Well, University of Iowa is only 4 hours from Chicago. I'm sure they know classmates who live in Chicago.
Well, and Cedar Rapids is certainly closer than Denver. More likely to know people there.
Yeah, so it's something that you just use those 6 degrees of separation to network your way in. And that's what I do as a recruiter. I don't just post positions out there and hope that the right person is looking right now while I need them. I'm out there talking to people and getting them to introduce me to people all the way to wherever it is I need to go.
So it sounds like a fantastic way to approach things, and I would imagine that taking a little bit of advantage of social media too could be a way to kind of help reach out to people who might be in a position to either introduce us to the right person or be the right person themselves. I mean, I know that is sort of the idea behind a service like LinkedIn, but I can't say that I know too much about LinkedIn or using any of those services to network for business personally.
So Ben, there's this device that's really cool. You can get your weather on it, you can read your email, you can even make phone calls on it. And that's the best way to network, is to find people, use LinkedIn, try to find people who work at the company that has the opening that interests you. And oh my gosh, there's somebody I know. I went to college with them. and give them a call and just say, hey, I'm really interested in coming to work. I see you guys have a position that's perfect for what I'm looking for. And can you introduce me to the manager? Now you're totally away from all of that need for worrying about keyword searches. And then that person, especially if they like you, will endorse you with that manager. And then not only that, a lot of companies give referral bonuses, so they'll get paid for introducing you.
Well, it seems like it's the best way to go about it, just figuring out who we need to talk to and then just giving them a call if we can get a hold of their phone number. But one last question for you. Do you have an alternative method if, say, the posting says explicitly right at the bottom to only contact them through that job posting and to not reach out to hiring managers through LinkedIn, social media, or the company's website?
I love it when I see stuff like that. And I just tell you, go ahead and do it. Let's say the person that you get networked to is a vice president. Is HR going to tell a vice president, you can't interview that person because they networked in with you?
Yeah, I don't think so.
They would not have a long career there. And from the perspective of a professional recruiter, I will tell you something. That some companies do that. I've seen it. And that's really not smart. I was going to say stupid, but that's not smart, because the career transition industry, so it used to be called outplacement, the people that help when companies lay off a group of people, they go to these companies for coaching for their people that are laying off. That industry over the last 45 years has created the metrics for how jobs are found. 74 to 76% of all jobs are filled through networking. 8% are filled through posting and hoping.
Wow, that's a really incredible statistic and kind of a great way to end things up on, and it definitely mirrors my experience too. I have never in my entire career gotten even a call back from an online job offer or an online posting that I've applied to. Everything that I have ever been, every career I've ever gotten was through networking. But well,
exactly, that's the way to go. And besides, it's fun. You reconnect with all these people that you haven't seen for a long time.
Well, exactly. So it's a great way to kind of exercise those social muscles and see some real benefits from it at the end. Well, Bill Humbert, thank you so much for joining us. If we need more information, it's recruiterguide.com.
That's correct.
Awesome.
And, if you want to talk to me about your career search, just click on the red button, Speak with Bill.
Fantastic. Well, Bill Humbert, the Recruiter Guy, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back after a short break.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Experience the beauty of fall on the rails of the Leadville Railroad. Take in the cool mountain breeze as you climb to 11,000 feet to watch the vibrant reds, oranges, and golds of fall come alive. Enjoy delicious hot beverages, learn some history, and relax with family and friends. Even your pets can enjoy a ride on the train. Offering daily trips, the weekend specials sell out fast. To secure your seat, book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Hi friends, welcome to Vail Vibes. Avisha Scarborough here, and today we're coming to you from Nottingham Park in Avon, and I'm about to take you for a ride on the wild side. Wild Side e-bikes. They get you to where you need to go fast. I got to explore Avon and Vail by bike in a way that was not above my endurance abilities. And even though my bike had a motor and throttle, I still got to work out while doing it, thanks to being able to lower the assistance levels. Wildside owner Paul Healds says you could always get plenty of exercise depending on which of the 5 power levels you choose.
You can use one of our bikes and use it in the lowest power mode and do more of a workout. You can turn the power off completely and you'll have plenty of exercise. Alternatively, you can turn it up to number 5 and just kick back and cruise from A to B.
Paul has owned a successful ski luggage company for years, but it was some unfortunate bike rides in high humidity that inspired him to get into e-bikes.
Using a bike as a commuter vehicle, a mode of transportation, which I was doing, and I was riding what I call a regular old ice cream bike. I had to pedal it all over the place. I would be getting hot and sweaty. My shirts would be pitted out within about 5 minutes of riding. And my wife looked at me when I was grumbling one day and she says, well, get an e-bike. And I said, not a bad idea, but I don't want a run-of-the-mill e-bike. I want something cool.
So he designed a bike drawing inspiration from the motorcycles of the 1950s, which seemed to epitomize cool. Once he was happy with the design,
this is the battery.
He decided to build it into a brand, and that's how Wildside came to be. Here he is showing us one of his most popular bikes, the Paris, which is designed to look more like a classic cruiser than a motorcycle. Paul says one of the best parts about Wildside's bikes are the accessories. From the helmets to baskets, these accessories are a stylish addition. Paul says some people aren't ready to embrace e-bikes, but he suggests they change their perspective a little.
Well, I think anybody riding an e-bike, the first thing somebody says to them that's on what we call an analog bike now, a regular bike, is cheater. You know, people shout cheater. That's really not what electric bikes are about. The question to me is, well, who are they cheating? Who are they trying to beat? Our bikes are, as I like to say, a mode of transportation. They get people from A to B, and you can have fun while you're doing it.
Wildside's company motto is dedicated to reawakening the spirit of your inner child. And this artwork behind him is a reminder of that.
That's our inner child. See, that's one of the things that we found with Wildside, was when you get on this bike, however young or however old you are, however experienced or inexperienced you are at riding a bike, there's something about jumping on a Wildside electric bike that puts a smile on your face, and all of a sudden you have fun. And all of a sudden it takes you back to your youth, when you had a bicycle and all of a sudden you had your independence and you could leave mum and dad alone. You could go off to the park, you could go play with your friends, you know.
I know my inner child was happy this day. And if you want to take a test drive on the Wildside, you can visit the Wildside Bike Showroom in Avon. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Welcome back to this second hour of Good Morning Vail. Happy Monday. We have adventures in coaching, which is going to be so exciting. We're having a Workforce Monday, as well as we are going to do more of the Workforce Monday. So keep it right here. Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
TV8 is serving the community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, delivering content in all sorts of mediums. Take us with you on the go, as Good Morning Vail and Good Day Vail are now available as podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Pandora. And don't forget, you can always find TV8 on YouTube, tv8vail.com, and all of our social media platforms. Just another reason why there's more for you on 92.
At Revival Boutique Med Spa, we take an integrative and holistic approach to skincare, focusing on the bigger picture when treating our clients. We use only result-driven and science-based products that contain clean, organic, wild-crafted, and research-based ingredients. From injectables, facials, to body contouring, we offer anything related to looking your best self. Find us in the Riverwalk in Edwards. For a complete list of services, visit us online at revivalvail.com. Follow us on Instagram at revivalvailvalley. Fall in love with your skin again. There's lots to love at Revival. Mind, body, beauty.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the Immersion Theater.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm all about this Workforce Monday. I'm learning so much. Hopefully you are too. Let's check out Mountain Perspectives.
Next question for you guys, and maybe Mark will stick with you on this to kick us off, but I think one of the terms that we hear a lot, I hear a lot in the community, is this idea of grow your own workforce. And when we talk about growing our own workforce, this is aligned with what you were just talking about with some of the CMC programming. But expand on that idea. What are some of the things happening? What's interesting to you with this idea of grow your own workforce?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'll say, and again, it's a shameless plug for what we do on our campus, close to 95% of our students are in-district students. So that's kind of our aim, is to grow our own. How we do that then is to think really broadly about what sort of opportunities do we need to offer students. So, I talked a little bit about our healthcare programs, I talked a little bit about what's going on in the schools. Everybody has a different pathway, not everybody wants to do a bachelor's degree, so it's really thinking about where are the needs and how do we match those needs with the students. So, something that CMC and our campus is very interested in at the moment is trades. What does that look like for CMC to dip its toe into trades? Is it a massive trade school? If so, where does that live? But again, at the dual enrollment level, we are doing construction courses at Battle Mountain, probably starting them at Eagle Valley High School as well. Just let's get something starting right now and keep looking into the feasibility of perhaps doing a trade school somewhere. And again, looking at partnerships, we have unsurprisingly, a lot of organisations coming to us saying, we need an HVAC program, we need a plumbing program. So, my question to them is, okay, how can you help us make this happen?
Right.
So this is what we're doing. I mean, we have our traditional associates and bachelors, some certificate programs, but now I think trades is probably going to be the next direction that we go in.
Yeah, great examples, and directly related to that idea of growing your own workforce, with 95% of your enrollment being people who are in district here in the area. So yeah. Great example. Anna, how about you? From a grow your own workforce standpoint, what are some of the things that you're seeing, and what are some of the programs that are out there?
I think the obvious answer is go after the youth. You have to get to these kids early, and you have to show them the opportunities that are available to them. And like Mark said, not everybody charts the same course, and that's great. That's what we need. We need a variety of people in the workforce. So that we do that at the partnership through our CareerWise youth apprenticeship programs. We have partnerships with businesses in so many different sectors, whether that is banking or HVAC or whatever the case may be. But these kids are starting their career early. They're starting in their junior year, and by the time they're out of high school for 1 year, they're fully functioning full-time employee that can then grow with the organization. So I think that's been a really important and eye-opening program for our business community, as well as the youth in our schools. We also have our Career Exploration programming through the school district, which is kind of a CareerWise light, where you're not necessarily employed, but you're able to go into the businesses and see what a career may look like as an electrician or a plumber or whatever the case may be. I think it's also offering opportunities to level up. The youth is an important aspect of our workforce, but we have a lot of people that are already here and are already working, and may have realized that they need to acquire some new skills or go a different direction, and we need to offer that opportunity. And I think it's very focused, like Mark said, on you have to lean into the careers that make sense here. We can't all be astrophysicists, especially in Eagle County. But we certainly, do have amazing real estate. We have our Vail Health is an amazing employer that offers a wide variety of career opportunities. So, there's a lot of industries that you can succeed in here in a big way that maybe you couldn't in other places.
And I really like the framing of grow your own, not only with the youth and the kids, but also the seasonal workers who want to stay year round, or the gap year people who come for a year or two and decide they want to stay. I think those are important components of how we think about growing our own. Carolyn, anything you want to add around the idea of growing your own workforce?
I'll just tell Mark and Anna yes as well. But I think it's really critical. I mean, I think Anna touched, and there's great programs with Vail Valley Partnership and CareerWise to focus on the youth. The thing that we're trying to focus on is those high schoolers that may not know what they want to do, and they graduate from high school, and then there's no support system. There's nothing in school, and they're working, but they're still not sure. So how can we bring resources to them that says, great, you've got an entry-level job. That's terrific. Good for you. What are some next things that you might want to tackle to get to your next level, to maybe supervisor, talking about some of those leadership skills. Those soft skills are so important in the workforce that we need to find those people that are already working and say, great, I want to move up. How do I move up? Where do I move up? What can I do? And so are those resources available? Are those systems available to take it from, I'm working, but I want to be more. I want to do more, and I want to make more money so I can survive. So, with the Workforce Center, we've got all kinds of internship opportunities, work-based learning opportunities, an apprenticeship program that we're working in healthcare, where the organization identifies their people that they want to upskill and get into the program. And so you take some entry level, have them in the hospital for a while, and then say, great, here's your next opportunity. And there's actually some grant funds for that as well. And that means growing your own. That's organized. That's the organization saying, I'm investing in you as an employee, and we're going to train into what we need.
Yeah, I think that's great. And it's a perfect time for us to take our second commercial break. We'll be right back with Mountain Perspectives.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Lion's Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lion's Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tva.com y nuestra página de Facebook TVA Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Hello everyone, I'm Raisa Pascal.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work for
Some good deals, too good to miss on Flash Deals. Now check this out.
studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Thank you for watching Good Morning Vail. Have an amazing day. Get on out there, soak up that sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow right here for more Good Morning Vail. Bye, everyone. Hi, I'm Gretchen Bleshaw. You might recognize me from the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen. Maybe you hear my voice on the radio from time to time or see me out at a concert or two. I love concerts. If you see me out, the long mermaid hair, I'm almost 6 foot tall. It's hard to miss. Come and say hi, give me a high five, and make sure to watch me right here on TV8.
Good morning, Vail.
How interesting has this been with Mountain Perspectives? Let's see how the conversation wraps up. Let's check that out.
Welcome back to Mountain Perspectives. I'm Chris Romer. I am the president and CEO of Vail Valley Partnership, joined today by Anna Robinson with Vail Valley Partnership and Vail Valley Works, Mark Brennan from Colorado Mountain College, and Carolyn Tucker from the Colorado Workforce Center. We're talking about workforce in Eagle County. We've talked about trends. We've talked about grow your own. We've talked about what workforce development even means and how it impacts a community. So let's take a little bit of a step back, and we'll start with Carolyn on this one. What do you wish? You talked earlier about the Workforce Center being the best kept secret.
Yes.
Which is not a great thing. We want people to know more about you.
Yes.
So what do you wish people knew more about your programs?
Well, I want people to know that all of our programs are free and that they are available to anybody who needs our services, and those services include resume writing, interview skills, even career assessments, like what do I want to do? I don't have an idea. Do I have strengths in these different areas? We also have career counselors, one-on-one, so we actually have a personal attachment and connection with people. We also do virtual webinars and virtual meetings if you can't make it to the Workforce Center, which is located in Edwards here in Eagle County. And we also have grant funds. People can get into CDL, get a CDL license. They can do some, we can pay for some of the programs that Mark offers at CMC. leadership training. So we have a ton of resources available, and happy to talk to anyone about those resources and partner and share the information.
Yeah, it's great. You have stuff not just for individuals, but for the businesses too, with some of those grants and things you talked about. So I think those are all great things. Mark, how about you? What do you wish people knew about Colorado Mountain campus, Colorado Mountain College, Vail Valley at Edwards? What do you wish they knew about the campus and the programming there?
You know, I just wish people knew about the variety of what we offer. You know, I think a lot of people just think of us still as a community college. I would prefer to say a college for the community. We offer bachelor degrees, you know, associate's degrees, and a number of certificates. I think, you know, I probably shouldn't say this in public, but there are some people for whom education is not something that they want to do, and I understand that. That's fine. But if you think you're not smart enough or that you can't do it, then I would probably say that you're wrong. If you think that you can't afford it, I would probably say you're also wrong. If you don't think that you'll get the support that you need in order to complete, I would probably say that you're wrong. So, you know, it's affordable. We have great scholarships. We have an awesome team of people who are there to see you succeed. So yeah, if you have ever thought about it, come on in through the front door.
Yeah, and this community is very good to a lot of organizations and not-for-profits and different needs. But share a little bit more about the scholarships. I'm putting you on the spot. We didn't talk about this before. But do you have a ballpark number of how much money is going into scholarships on your campus?
On our campus? Well, I'll give you sort of college-wide, it's just over $1 million. But at the Vail Valley campus, we are very, very fortunate to have close to nearly $300,000 worth of scholarships awarded to students this year.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's real money that provides real opportunities to people. And as we talked about in the first segment, when we talk about workforce, we're talking about people. So there's real opportunities. So thanks for letting me throw you a little bit of a curveball there, and thanks for having the data at the tip of your brain.
Yeah.
Anna, how about you? What do you wish people knew about your programming at Vail Valley Partnership and Vail Valley Works?
I wish that the business owners knew more that we are here to support them and that we are here to help them grow their own. You know, it's not just the community, but within your own business, if you're hesitant about promoting that person, or you know they need a little extra support and love to bring them along, that we're here to do that. And you don't have to look outside or keep a position open for years. I wish that they knew that we were here, and that they should always be looking for leaders at every level of their organizations. You need entry-level leaders and you need strategic leaders. And so we are here to help keep that continuum moving.
Yeah, and all great examples from each of you guys. I'll add to Anna's. I wish people knew that we would do custom training for them and connect them with some of the professional facilitators and trainers to do whatever they might need and to use us as that conduit. So that's something that a few businesses do, and we're certainly willing and able to do it for most anybody, to have them get exactly what they need. Yeah. So one more question for you guys. When we talk about workforce development, and again, what that really means is people, what is the one thing that you're really most excited about? And Anna, we'll start with you.
It might be a little bit of a off-the-wall answer, but I'm excited. Hardship creates opportunity, I think is the best way to put it. And right now it's hard for our businesses to hire and retain employees. And so I'm excited, not for the business's hardship, but for the opportunity that it creates for the people who work here to level up, to make more money, to learn about themselves, learn skills that they didn't know that they had. So I think it's been really exciting to sit in on some of the trainings and hear the confidence build in some of these leaders, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Mark, what are you most excited about when it comes to the idea of workforce development and workforce in Eagle County?
I would probably say the first Friday of every May, which is when we have our graduation. That's when I see the difference that we can make and what we are able to contribute and what the community of the Valley is able to contribute.
Yeah, it's a great answer, and I would encourage anybody and everybody who hasn't taken the time to go to the Vail Performing Arts
Mhm.
Center on that first Friday evening in May to experience, I'm going to say kids, but it's not just kids. It's the whole spectrum of ages, but these folks, what it means to them and what it means to their families, and hearing from each of them at the podium sharing their experience. It is a immensely powerful evening. So that's a great example. It's a great example. Carolyn, what about you? What is one thing you're most excited about when it comes to workforce in Eagle County?
Well, I'm going to cheat because I have two. One thing, the first thing is I'm so excited that we make a difference in individual people's lives. So when we get the phone call that says, hey, Carolyn, I got that job, or hey, I got that promotion, thanks for your help. That means the world to us and our entire team, because that's what we're all about, is taking people who don't have that confidence or may have been rocked by something and saying, we're going to help you get to where you want to go. So that's really exciting. The second thing is I'm just thrilled with the partnerships and the resources that are available to the entire community, no matter where you are on the spectrum. First-time job, like I said, laid off, wanting to be a leader. There's so many resources that everyone has to offer that you can find your way and try. And it's time to come out and be all you can be. That's kind of a cliche, but it's really stepping into what the world needs and what the community needs, and build our own fabric by having that resilient workforce. So that's what I'm really pumped about.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a little bit of executive privilege here and share what I'm most excited about. And what I'm most excited about really is the entrepreneurial spirit that exists here in Eagle County. This county was built on a lot of the things that you guys have talked about, really bootstrapping, dating back 60 years when Vail Mountain opened the chairlifts and the community changed from a little bit more of a ranching and farming community into a tourism-oriented community, and how we've grown since then. But we've maintained that entrepreneurial spirit, and we've maintained the ability to focus on doing the right things. And our community, be it all the different economic hardships or pandemics or little blips that we've seen in my 26 years here, every single time our business community has said, all right, how do we do it? What do we need to do next? We haven't wallowed in our, spilt milk, if you will, but rather we've rolled up our sleeves and gotten things done. And I think that's the case for workforce. We're going to continue to roll up our sleeves and get things done because that's what our people need and that's what our businesses need. And it makes me excited. So last question, and this is going to be a really quick one. So lightning round. How do people learn more about your organization and the things you do? Carolyn?
You can look for Colorado Workforce Centers. You can either Google that, or I can give you my phone number, 970-880-4172, and I will put you in contact with all of the resources we have.
Great. Mark, how about you?
Well, every semester you should be receiving a little schedule in your mailbox. Pick it up and read it. Read the stories that are in there. You'll actually find a lot about what we do there. Or come to 150 Miller Ranch Road and walk in the door and see it for yourself.
Yep. Great. And Anna, how about you? How can people learn more?
Easiest way is online, vailvalleyworks.org or vailvalleypartnership.com, or just come see us, come to a mixer. The team's always happy to help.
That's great. Well, thank you guys all for taking the time to join us today. Thank you for viewing Mountain Perspectives. We've been talking about workforce in Eagle County with Carolyn Tucker, Mark Brennan, and Anna Robinson. Really appreciate all of you guys taking the time, and thank you so much.
Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Lions Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lions Head Village for over a decade, Our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Hi there! Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman, featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
Are you looking for exciting and nutritious recipes to cook at home? Watch Colorful Cooking with Tracy Miller on TV8 Vail. Tracy brings you the best in fresh and healthy foods for the active outdoor lifestyle. Stream online at tv8vail.com or find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on 92.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Let's take a look at adventures in coaching, learning how to reframe our problems into opportunities.
I am joined now on the couch by Kim Smith of Adventures in Coaching to share with us some more advice on how to improve our careers. So welcome to the show, Kim.
Thanks so much, Ben. It's great to be back.
Well, it's great to have you again with some more fantastic advice for us. So last time you were on, we were talking a little bit about teams and how to kind of get teams oriented a little bit and help them succeed. But we're shifting gears a little bit once more to talk about problems. So we encounter problems in our careers all the time, but they don't necessarily need to be a bad thing, do they?
Not necessarily, although I think a lot of people think they are, right? Oh gosh, the problems are so difficult or insurmountable. How do I get over them?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly can be a thing, but a lot of problems can present us with opportunities too, right?
Yes.
They force us to make change,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always a way to come out with some positive change.
Exactly. If you have that mindset, which is what we're going to be talking about today, is really how do we shift that, oh, this is such a big problem and I don't know what to do, and therefore we get stuck often when we're in that problem versus looking at something as an opportunity and reframing it as that. I just love this topic because so many of us, whether we're in business or whether it's our personal lives, we can take a look at, anything from this new framework.
Well, and even if it's not necessarily a problem, it can still be an overwhelming task. So in the event that you are facing with a monumental issue, a big problem, how do you recommend starting to tackle something like that?
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? So, and I like to say, rather than issues or problems, I like to say challenges, actually. If you can start reframing it by looking at it as a challenge, it no longer has such a negative connotation. And then when you start asking yourself, well, hey, is there another way to look at this? What is the opportunity? And oftentimes we really can't. We're so used to being in that problem and maybe even, down about it, or maybe even in that place where sort of like have this victim thinking where, oh, poor me, I can't do anything about this. Sometimes it's hard to start looking at things as opportunities, and that is where a coach can come in, or you can get feedback from others. Like, what's another angle here?
So if we're trying to change that mindset from, oh my God, this problem is so big, how am I going to get started to tackle it, to, all right, this challenge that's facing me is going to give me an opportunity to really improve my situation or improve my position at work, how would you recommend getting to that point where we're seeing something differently?
Yeah, well, it really is a multi-step process, and you just outlined a bunch of them right there, so you're totally getting this. It's awesome. So, looking at the problem or the challenge, and then thinking about it as an opportunity, and then maybe thinking, like, what are the solutions? Like, what is it that I need to do to create this opportunity, to create the solution? And then thinking about what might be different once you're in that solution. So that's a way to kind of look at it pretty far forward into, the future. I mean, it may be only one conversation away, but thinking about the difference can really help to motivate you to kind of continue looking at pushing through the problem and maybe getting out of your comfort zone a bit to ask for what you need, or maybe it's setting a boundary or coming up with some new ideas and presenting it to a leadership team.
So you're recommending a little bit of like trying to see our challenge through to the end and use that success as inspiration to help us work through.
Yes, absolutely. And I highly recommend writing these things down so that you can go back and check in and have an accountability partner. Maybe it's a friend or coworker, a manager, a coach, it just depends. But having somebody that can help you kind of think through the obstacles that might be in the way, the roadblocks that are getting in your way from being successful and creating an opportunity from a challenge.
So as a professional coach, if I was facing a huge project and I wasn't quite sure where to start, and it was really like just the scope of the whole thing, I wasn't figuring out where to begin, and if I was, excited about the end of the project, but that's just the hurdle of the project itself, how would you as a coach kind of help me through that first step of getting the inertia needed to begin surmounting that challenge?
That's great insight that you have there, because it is about, figuring out how to take those first baby steps. And me as a coach, I don't always know what your first baby steps are, but I'm going to work with you to try and pull those out of you and then help you to take those and give you the courage, encourage you and empower you to take those steps so that you can walk through that fear. And if that fear is insurmountable, like you were talking about, like you just, you want to get to the end of the project, but you don't know how, then we talk about that fear and what that limiting belief might be that's holding you back from taking those first steps. And often if we just start taking one little step, another one will become clear as we get there. But, also having a roadmap is very important. It doesn't mean that you have to stay on that exact path the whole way, but sort of having an idea of like, okay, I do this first. Maybe I need to get a little more experience over here or some education over there, but then I can take that next step.
Well, and those roadmaps, they don't have to be every single step A to Z, right? It can be A and F, and maybe G and E and a couple together, but like sometimes we just need to get started to kind of figure out what some of those steps are.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend kind of facing those limiting beliefs and some of that fear if you've got a decent plan, but you don't have every single step of the process worked out?
Right.
And that can definitely leave some people feeling nervous.
Yeah, a lot of us like to have the answers before we start something, which I call like the problem with perfectionism. And sometimes we hold on to like, I'm not going to do anything until the plan is perfect, until I have it all figured out. I'm not willing to go A to F, right? I want to go A, B, C, D. So it's the problem with perfectionism. And can you let yourself, off the hook a little bit and say like, it's going to be good enough. Even if I just take these few steps, maybe I'll run into some more roadblocks and maybe it won't be right. Maybe I'll make a mistake, but that's okay. Because half the fun of the journey is kind of going off trail, right? And maybe like, oh gosh, I'm a little bit lost. And then you find your way back again and think how good you feel once you've maybe done a little diversion and found something you weren't expecting.
Well, and it's hard to learn without those little diversions, those extra challenges too. I mean, something that I've always faced in my life is I am cripplingly perfectionist. Like I am
That's why you smiled when I said that.
People, exactly. I'm 100% one of those people who I have to drill it into myself to not let perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah.
And there's so many times it's like, man, I'm not quite sure this will be perfect. I gotta start anyway. I just gotta do it anyway. And it sounds to me like reaching out to you is a great way to kind of help bridge that gap and help get a little bit of outside motivation and outside help if we're really having a hard time getting over that little bit of a hump, that little bit of a limiting belief.
Right, and that little bit of limiting belief might end up being a bigger limiting belief that's affecting you in a lot of different places, and a coach can help you to uncover what that is and to come up with plans so that when you hear that limiting belief talking to you, you can be like, oh, there it is, rather than sit in procrastination or sit in, feeling down about something. Like, oh, there it is. Now here's what I need to do.
To help identify that voice in your own head and tell it to be quiet when it needs to be.
Right. Thank you very much. But we're moving forward.
Right. So if anybody needs some help finding out their limiting beliefs or helping to get over them a little bit, how can they reach out to you?
So I can be reached at kim@adventuresandcoaching.com or just go to my website, adventuresandcoaching.com, and I have a little form that you can fill out and send me more information about what you're looking for and what your challenges and what you think your opportunities might be. So love to hear from you.
Well, fantastic. Kim Smith of Adventures in Coaching, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Ben.
And we'll be right back after a short break with a little bit more show for you right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Suki and Scott Show, we are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
Hi, Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
At Revival Boutique Med Spa, we take an integrative and holistic approach to skincare, focusing on the bigger picture when treating our clients. We use only result-driven and science-based products that contain clean, organic, wild-crafted, and research-based ingredients. From injectables, facials, to body contouring, we offer anything related to looking your best self. Find us in the Riverwalk in Edwards. For a complete list of services, visit us online at revivalvail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Revival Vail Valley. Fall in love with your skin again. There's lots to love at Revival. Mind, body, beauty.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Hey there, I'm Cece Zach, and today's episode of Good Day Vail, we are going to meet with an extraordinary woman who has defied all odds to be the first rocket scientist to climb 7 summits. She's the first U.S. woman to look towards the Explorers and the Adventurers Grand Slam in trekking, and if you haven't guessed it, it's Megan Buchanan. So please stay tuned for this episode of Good Day Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Ken had a great interview with Emily giving us the tips and tricks about how to get recruited, about your interviewing, and what not to say and what to say. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to our show. Now, I am so excited because I have a wonderful personal friend and professional friend as well joining me on the couch. We have some excellent business tips and tricks and how to land the perfect interview and present yourself best. Joining me today on the couch is talent acquisition manager and business consultant, Emily Gross.
Hi.
How are you, Emily?
I am so thrilled to be here with my dear friend Kim and hopefully share some helpful tips today.
Yeah, I think you are, what you do is very successful. And so you're a talent acquisition manager. Tell me a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, so I manage a team of recruiters. I absolutely love recruiting, talent acquisition. I'm super passionate about people finding career fulfillment, and that all starts with your journey in the job hunt.
Yeah, so you manage a team of recruiters, but you obviously started at the ground level. So
Yes.
as a recruiter, what are things that you typically look for when you start with screening candidates?
Absolutely. This is really your chance as a candidate to get out there, tell your story, be your own brand. And I always say, go out there and get what you want. You know what I mean? Think about opportunities that you want. Look for them online. There's lots of different ways to search for them and go after it. This is a chance to really get the right match for you.
Well, things have definitely changed on the job search. So you are no longer confined to just your local city because there are remote jobs and jobs nationwide. So tell me about how you would go about looking for a job all over the U.S.
Yeah, I actually think this is super exciting because we are no longer limited to our geo area of when we're looking for our next opportunity. You can actually go into many of the job search platforms, LinkedIn, Indeed, and change that location to remote. It's going to pull up all the remote opportunities, and that opens you up essentially to the entire U.S. So lots of opportunities out there.
Absolutely. So as a candidate or a job seeker, what would you recommend as the first steps? What's the first thing that I should do as I begin my job search?
Absolutely. There's a few things. So I would definitely start with your resume. And resumes traditionally have been listing your titles, the companies, and then job responsibilities and duties. Let's switch that up to actual accomplishments, things that you have accomplished, and make them as measurable as possible. So as quantitative as possible, increase 20% of sales within 6 months, started a new project, launched this, hosted this event on this date, just so we can really be enticed to talk to you more. Also your LinkedIn page, that's your chance to also put a professional photo up there to show a little bit more of your opportunity, a little bit more of your personality. So there's lots of different ways to entice people to want to talk to you more, and that's really the goal with the first step.
I think nowadays LinkedIn is almost everything. It's the professional version of social media, and we're all on our phones all the time. So having interactive things is really interesting.
It's amazing because now you can actually send direct messages to companies that I say, like you have a company crush or a crush on a potential job opportunity. You can just send them a message and express your enthusiasm for their company. If there is a company that you really like or a job opportunity, do some research, see their recent press. Have they had any recent milestones as a company, any accomplishments? Put that into a message and really show your enthusiasm and that you care, you're up to date. That's a way to really stand out.
Okay, so you've secured the first interview. Tell me a little bit about how to prepare for that.
Yes. Also in today's world, there are different platforms and different ways that interviews can be conducted. Anything from a phone interview to a video interview to an in-person interview. With the video interviews, some people can be kind of new to this. Really take your time to prepare for these. Make sure you're in a quiet, professional space with no distractions. Make sure that your background is clean, neat, and as simple as possible. We don't want any distractions. Also, make sure your Wi-Fi connection is very secure, that you have tested whatever platform that they have asked you to use. There's HireVue, there's Spark Hire. All of those have tutorials and sample interviews that you can do on your own on their websites. Highly recommend that you do that so that when you go into the interview, the tech stuff, you got it down. Now you're just focused on showing that personality and sharing all those accomplishments.
And then there's the classic Zoom, which we love to use here on TV8. Absolutely. So you've got the interview, your technology is great, lighting is good, and you want to make sure that it's facing you like we do here.
Spotlight is on you. You're going to want that spotlight on you, not coming from behind. So it sounds simple, but trust me, it's really going to make you look really professional and really good.
So what advice would you give when in the middle of the interview? What kind of information should you share? Are there follow-up questions? Tell me more about that.
Yes, absolutely. I would recommend anyone before they're starting an interview to definitely think about their career, think about those specific examples that you've had in your career and write those down, because when they ask you questions such as, how are you at overcoming challenges in the workplace? Stay away from saying language like, well, I usually or I always, and give them a specific example of a challenge that you faced. Where were you working? What were the challenges? What did you specifically do? And then don't forget, what was that outcome? Giving specific examples is really what they're looking for. Whenever I hear that a candidate was not selected, the feedback I most hear is that they weren't specific enough. So prepare all that ahead of time so all your stories are on the tip of your tongue, ready to share.
So how would you advise on preparation? Like, what would you do? How do you figure out, okay, what are the things that I can add to this potential opportunity?
Yeah, definitely do your research, like I said, on the company, on the person that is interviewing you. Usually they send you their name. Check out their LinkedIn, just some general information so you can know a little bit more about them and how to connect with them during the interview, because that's an important part as well. And yeah, just express your enthusiasm, ask questions. I always say they usually close the interview with, do you have any questions for us? Always have one prepared, because it's very easy to not be able to come up with one after you just completed an interview. And showing that you have a question is, again, showing your interest. You've got the wheels turning. You're thinking about joining the company. And so always have a question prepared at the end.
Okay, great. I love to ask questions, which is why I sit here. So what kind of questions would you advise? You mentioned to be prepared and know about the company, but what's a really good follow-up question?
Sure. I mean, you can ask a company how much they plan on scaling within the next 6 months. What are their plans for this role? Does this role plan to have a team around it eventually? Do they have any new products coming out, new services? I mean, it depends on the industry, but just ask them about their upcoming plans, or maybe do your research and say, I saw a little bit that you guys are planning on doing this, would love to hear more. So again, showing that you did your due diligence and showing your interest.
And then you can always ask about the position itself. What are the expectations there? That's a fail-safe interview question. I know
Absolutely.
I've used it plenty of times
That's a great one.
in my job searches in the past. So Emily, what would you advise? Where can we go to find more resources on how to update a resume, how to interview? What else would you say?
Yeah, well, there's a ton online, and thank goodness for YouTube and all that stuff. But anyone's welcome to reach out to me directly on LinkedIn. My name is Emily Gross. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have. But it's a really exciting time when you're starting your job hunt.
Well, Emily, you are wonderful. I love having you here on the couch. I think your energy is so contagious and obviously really good at what you do. So if if you have any last advice, what's that one thing you would tell a candidate?
I would say really don't be afraid to show your enthusiasm. Companies want to hire people that want to be there. That is going to be worth their investment in you because you're more likely to stay for longer. Even if someone's super qualified but they're not acting very interested in the role, they haven't done their research, they're not prepared, that doesn't look like a great investment for the company. So don't be afraid to show that enthusiasm.
So oftentimes enthusiasm wins the job.
So it can.
Awesome. Well, Emily, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and expertise. We appreciate you being here on the show.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, stay tuned. We have a lot more in store, so we'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Hello, everyone. I'm Raisa Pascal.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work for some good deals, too good to miss on flash deals now, check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Welcome to the TV8 Visitors Bureau. I'm one of your hosts, Maddie Evans. Now we've got a really cool new concept taking place here in the town of Avon, Eaglevale, and Vail. And it's a great way to use as an alternative. Instead of driving your car, you can shift your ride to one of these incredible electric bikes behind me. Now this is a really cool rental system and you can control it all right from the power of your hands, right from your cell phone by downloading the Shift Bike app. And then from there, you can get over there and enjoy the incredible amenities that these bikes have to offer. We're going to walk you through it, but in order to do it, you have to download the app. So Shift Bike is the app, and then you can use the coupon code Shift Your Ride for the first 30 minutes free. And we're going to walk you through the pricing and everything here and how you can get one of the bikes. Let's get started. Once you get into the app, you can see exactly which location you would like to pick up the bike, how many bikes are available, and then where you can deliver the bike to. So you can see starting in Avon, making your way through Eaglevale, all the way to Vail Village, and then even down into East Vail. You can collect bikes, drop bikes off, and enjoy your ride on these nice electric bikes. Once you've scanned the QR code to get the bike unlocked, it's really important that you have safety first, so always make sure that you have your helmet with you. That way you can pop that on and you're nice and safe. Now, once you get the bike unlocked, it's super easy. You'll just take that lock right off the back. You'll see that you'll have this big, nice coiled cord, but there's a hook on the back for you to hook that to so that it is nice and out of your way while you are riding the bike. That way you're nice and safe and everyone around you is nice and safe so you don't tip over on the bike. And then once you've got that all secured, you're all set to go. You can just kick that kickstand up and start enjoying your ride. Now remember that these are pedal assist and there are some rules. To get the bike back to where you got it or to get it to your next destination, you can always use the app to see all of the great places where you can drop these off. Once you are done on your adventure on the Shift bikes, they're a ton of fun and you can see that you can get going pretty fast on them, especially with that nice little pedal assist. You'll take the bike back, lock it back up in one of the great charging stations that they have available, and then once you're done locking it up, make sure that you take your app out and you end the ride, because it is going to make sure that that bike is in the correct spot for you to have ended your ride, and that way it will not continue to charge you. That has been this edition of the TV8 Visitors Bureau. We can't wait to bring you more great information, but make sure that you get out there and you use the Shift bike to shift your ride throughout the community.
Show, we are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to
Park Show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
Purchase an Access card and save 20% at participating retailers between now and September 30th. Each card purchased provides one full day of a professional adaptive assistance for a person in need. Your $55 donation allows Access Unbound to continue doing incredible work in our community. Shop local, support local, and make an incredible impact. Buy yours at au-accesscard.org.
Good morning, Vail.
I hope you had a great Monday with us here on Good Morning Vail, enjoying all the Workforce Monday. I learned a lot. Hopefully you did too. There's so many interesting things in this valley and so many different jobs that you can look into. And we got a lot of good tips and tricks as far as learning how to interview. Join Kim and Mark tomorrow here on the couch, Good Morning Vail, with the beautiful Claire Noble and very knowledgeable Claire Noble. Have a great Monday. Get on out there, enjoy that fall, and keep right here for more Good Morning Vail tomorrow. Bye.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the immersion theater.
Join us in exploring the everyday lives of community members here in the Vail Valley. Hear their inspiring stories of how they came here, their contributions to our community, and why they chose to call this place home. We want you to be one of our neighbors. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone to be featured, please send an email to danielle@tv8vail.com. We look forward to featuring your story right here on TV8.
When making money is the aim, these kids, they bring their game. They're the biz kids.
Can you dig it? Real businesses by real biz kids. Watch and learn tips on how to start your own business.
Biz kids.
Right on.
Lion's Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lion's Head Village for over a decade,